Kevin's here. Kevin's going to be happy. I did something special for Kevin this weekend.
Kevin.
Kevin!
Sell off at the open, as usual.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get a little panic pop at the open, come up, give us the entry, sure, then sell off.
Yeah.
Like, come on. We want to come in, make our money in the first 5 minutes, and be done. I don't want to sit here till 11 o'clock waiting for the trade. I want my one and done right now. You got NQ pulling into that zone of daily support. So we'll just have to see what price action looks like as we get down into that zone and go from there, guys. Where's silver?
Big week for information.
What do we got? That's the one thing I didn't do this morning. Wow, I'm like really out of it. I always look at the economic calendar.
We got PPI and CPI, but then Friday you have a meeting with Trump and Putin.
Is that going down Friday? In Alaska, right?
I don't know the location, but
I thought I saw this tweet. The great state of Alaska.
Yeah. It's the closest point to the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Russia.
All right, yeah, tomorrow, core inflation CPI data. That's going to be potentially some market-moving stuff, typically is. PPI Thursday, jobless. Do we got claims? Yep, jobless claims. Retail sales.
Highly interested in tomorrow.
CPI?
Yes, because you got tariff impact on inflation, which is a big topic.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be a high driving factor. And I think that's what everyone is waiting for today to see what tomorrow brings.
I agree, man. You know, tread lightly today, sit back on the sidelines and wait for key data to drop.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, we got those slower, steadier days leading up to key data like this.
The key thing the market's looking at now is jobs, because that's going to be key to the interest rate move and how many cuts and by how much, because they cannot let the job market go the opposite way. So go jobs, so goes the economy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, who do we got up in the house this morning? I got to say good morning to Anthony, Chris, Cole, Mark, owner. I'm going to guess that is Mike. Good morning. Hopefully I got that right.
No, it's me. My computer decided to have a temper tantrum last weekend, so it went to the doctor, so I'm trying to re-put everything back in with my names.
Yeah, I didn't say Mike. I said Jared.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What's up, buddy?
It just sounded like Mike.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. I'm dyslexic.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I'm going to blame it on my dyslexia. I don't think that's how it works, but I'll take it. I'll use it. Really good stuff last week, though, man. I looked at your stats this morning because I look at pretty much everybody's stats on a consistent basis. Good week last week. I know we only had 5 trades, but the 5 trades we took, good results. Really good numbers.
I'm actually starting with real money this Monday, so we're going to see how I do.
That's it. I want you to do exactly the same thing you did on the previous 11 trades. Nothing changes, right? Same setups, same analysis, same preparation process, build the plans, assess your risk. Nothing changes. We're just going to click the buy and sell button in a different account, man. That's it. But you've got it, man. You're going to crush it. I mean, your first couple of weeks in, you're disciplined, you're following the system, you're executing flawlessly, you're managing your trades like a pro. Like some of the trade management, squeezing 5 to 1. Like, dude, you're crushing it. You're going to do really good this week, man.
I'm actually in one for Microsoft right now.
I'm going to let you do your thing-a-lang on Microsoft, manage the trade. And if you want to, sit down and review this afterwards, I'm more than happy to always look at trades with you guys.
All right.
One of the best ways to learn.
Concentrate on what I'm doing. I'm putting you guys in mute.
You mute the crap out of Josh. Josh is irrelevant right now. Am I reading supply and demand by volume tool? No, candle recognition. So candle formations, candlestick patterns, you can identify areas of supply and demand based on candlestick formation.
Hey, Josh, can we catch up one day this week?
Absolutely. 100%.
I'll
And I
leave
feel very
Diamond Date
guilty
with you.
right now.
Don't. I don't even think twice about it. So
I do.
you pick. I know you do because I would do the same thing. But no worries. Just I'll let you pick the time and day, and I'll make it happen.
Let's do it right now. Let's pick the time of day. Let's go tomorrow because my day is completely filled today.
Okay.
Tomorrow. We're getting ready to re-release our fall schedule as well, so I'll keep you guys updated there. Just a couple little tweaks with what we got going on. But tomorrow we got a round table at 11:30. I mean, I'm pretty much open, man. We can go, before market open if you want, or we can do like 1 o'clock.
We could do before market open. That would be different.
It would be different. But my morning is pretty much open. So we can jump on a little 9 o'clocker if you want.
Yeah.
We're one.
Sunrises.
Do what?
I said I'm up before the sun rises.
Me too. And I got to wait 2 hours before the sun comes up to even go get the sun in my face that I want to.
I get more done before most people get up.
Yeah, I get a lot done. In my 2 hours before the family wakes up, I can knock a lot of stuff out.
All right, so tomorrow morning, 9 a.m.
On the dot.
Cool.
Awesome, Ben. Right, so as we are sitting back waiting for an opportunity, something to set up, ladies and gentlemen, let's always use our time wisely. So I'd like to hear from you guys. What are your big goals and intentions for the week? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I sit down at the end of every week. I reflect upon my week, the good, the bad. I pull the positives out of the negatives, and I just really sit down with some intention and I reflect upon my whole week. What went well and what contributed to it going well, because I want to compound that to next week. And then what went, say, bad, negative, something that I didn't really enjoy. What didn't go well? And I look to extract why did that not go well and what can I do differently to see a change the next week. I reflect and project what I want, those intentions, into the next week. I'd like to hear your guys' intentions for the week too. What are those goals, milestones, those intentions you have? What do we want to accomplish for this week? And how can I help support you? Maybe hold you accountable so we can accomplish those goals this week. I'd like to hear from you guys.
My biggest thing is getting redialed in with how my work life has been impacting my trading life. So that's my biggest goal this week. Just getting redialed and refocused.
So primarily like work, trading, kind of mixing, not really good balance, work bleeding into trading, like mentally.
Yeah, not able to focus and stay.
Yeah, so like there was a time you were dialed in, right?
Yep.
Obviously. Then you're not dialed in and you want to get back to being dialed in. Did we sit down and think about what were the things that I was doing consistently when I was in that dialed in state? Like how did I balance work, trading better? Did we sit down and, think about that?
Well, I know it was hectic for me at work these past few weeks is what caused me not to get dialed in and just not wanting to stare at a computer and losing that screen time.
Gotcha. So just lack of screen time, really wanting to resharpen the skills, resharpen the mind. I gotcha.
Yeah.
I always like to do that, man. Because like sometimes like we run into, like a situation or circumstance and we tend to naturally like overthink it. And we're like, how do I overcome this problem, this issue? And I do that naturally. And most people do that naturally as well. They overthink it, right? But it's like, if we've done it once before, just go back and do what you've done in the past. It's that easy. So it's like, man, my mornings aren't going well. I need to build a whole brand new fucking morning routine out and this and this and that. And it's like, no. I used to have really good mornings like a couple months ago. Why? Because of the morning routine that I was doing. Well, it's easy. Just do that again, right? To have the same results versus trying to rethink it through and rebuild it and recraft it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, keep it simple.
Keep it simple. But it's, human nature to like just overthink naturally. Can't tell you how many times I'm like redoing my entire schedule for the day. Like when I wake up and how much time I have for my routine and I'm like, I've already done this before, right? Why am I redoing it? What I had before works. I just need to get back to being consistent with that, right? Versus trying to re-brainstorm and rebuild it. But natural default, that's what we default to. So sometimes we just need a little reminder of, hey, we've been in a position we wanted to be in before. We were dialed in. We were disciplined. What exactly were we doing to be in that state? Okay, cool. Now we just replicate the same things we were doing before, and we'll naturally get back into that state we want to be in.
Yep, exactly. That's my goal for the week.
Good. I love it, man. So how can I help support you with getting re-dialed in?
Well, you've already done a little bit with helping me reestablish my morning routine. So I've been doing teeter-tottering on that the past couple weeks. So this week I'm trying to get full 100% with everything else. So just keep
even if we miss a couple things, just at least showing up with the check-ins, man. That's it.
Yeah, just keeping me accountable.
That's it. Hold yourself to a higher standard.
Yes.
Okay, man. So I will hold you accountable. I'll make sure we see those daily check-ins. And I don't care if we got some red X's, as long as we're just showing up with intention and getting those check-ins posted. That's all that matters, man. We're gonna rebuild some of that lost momentum.
Yep, I want it back.
We'll get it. It doesn't take that long. Take a few days of dedication, putting your head down. You'll regain that lost momentum very quickly because it hasn't been gone for that long.
No, it hasn't. Just
a couple
tired.
weeks. Yeah. Morning routine. Make sure we crush our morning so we can crush our day. Get the mind right. Come in and do your prep like you normally do. Build your plans. Get an idea of what you want to do in the market if things set up the way you want to see them set up. And you're a damn good trader, man. To sit back, relax, and wait. Get some reps in, and we'll be good, man. We'll have a good week.
Yeah, I picked a good week to take off, I think.
What, last week?
Oh, no, this week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got big data this week. Yeah, good week to take off.
It's a good week to be in the market, for sure. Well, cool, man. I appreciate you sharing that with me. I'll support you, make sure we're holding you accountable, and I'm sure other people will do that as well. We're one big happy family here. We all want to support one another, so that's how we're going to be able to support Corey this week. Just make sure he's showing up for himself, checking in, holding himself to a higher standard, and just being there to support him and help him rebuild some of this lost momentum.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Josh.
What's up, Anthony G?
Hey, I got the TradeZilla download. I guess I need to get some time with you to kind of set everything up so you can track it.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a DM with a invitation link. So if you just click that link and accept it, I'll have access to your TradeZilla. We'll go ahead and get that wrapped up. Then I'm going to also send you a little tutorial for TradeZilla to help you kind of like get familiar with the system. How do we log trades? How do I want you guys like tagging and logging the trades? That's going to be a nice little foundational starting point for TradeZilla. But if you have like obviously more questions, we need to dive deeper into the platform and help you really get it set up. Yeah, let's get connected and we'll get that set up for sure. But let me go ahead and
How you gonna send that?
I'm going to DM it to you over in Discord.
Yeah, I think I'm still having trouble with that thing.
Are you? Okay, I'll send you a DM over in Market Chat if you'd like. But I see you sent me a text on the 4th. Shoot me a text when you're ready. So I'll just do it both. I'll send it in the Discord. I'll send it in Market Chatter as well. So first link is the invitation to get me invited. So I can access your portfolio. And then the second link is going to be that little 20-minute long tutorial on just how to get it set up, configured, and actually start to get some trades logged.
Okay.
And that's a good starting point. That's going to allow you to get even more questions. And then we'll sit down and we'll make sure that we get you fully dialed in with the system so we can start logging trades this week, man. This is the week that matters most. We're going to get that baseline data. We're going to start to really fine-tune your approach and your system. Start to get that into a live account. This is a big milestone week, Anthony. I'm excited for you, dude.
Oh, yeah, we'll get there.
Oh, dude, yeah. We're moving.
I took one last night. Actually.
I saw that. Yeah, futures.
Yeah.
I saw your screenshot. I'm like, this man was up at like 12 o'clock trading, man. He's dedicated.
Well, the bell went off, so I knew it went through one of them stop losses.
Did you hit a target?
Yeah, I actually got it was like 5-1. Because I had some I had a supply zone sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was overlapping supply. So I kind of put in a limit order.
On ES, yeah.
Yes. And it went through. And then
pick your limit up. Okay.
I kind of started watching movies and everything, and then I kind of glanced at it and I heard the alarm went off, and I think it was like, I want to say either 4 or 5-1. I have to go back and look.
That's solid, dude. Yeah, a little set it, forget it. So did you place that trade in TOS?
Yes.
Did you set it up with brackets to where you had your stop loss in there and your target to where it was a true set it, forget it play? No,
so what I done once it entered, then I went set my stop to match my trading view.
Dope. And then trail from there.
Well, actually, no. And then once I set the stop, then you have to set the buy. It's a buy stop and a buy market. I think it was the way it's set up.
So you did it. So you entered, then you manually put in the stop, then you manually put in take profit.
Yes.
Okay. I'm a little concerned about that. I'm not sure how TOS works, but if we set those up individually, what could happen is you are short here, for example. You have a stop loss here, and you have a target here. If we set all of that up individually, what could happen is you could come up, hit your stop, and that would close your position, right? And you would be out for a stop. But that order down here, your target, won't get removed. So it's very possible that if price comes down, it would pick your order up down there as well, and that may not be your intention, right? And then vice versa. If you get in, it comes down and hits target, it's going to get you out of that position, but you're still going to have that negative sell stop to where price comes up, it could still fill that position because that order is not getting automatically removed. Some platforms will do that. So we need to use what we call OCO orders. And OCO stands for other cancels other. To where if we have that set up ahead of time and our stop loss is hit, it's going to automatically cancel the take profit and vice versa. It's called OCO, other cancels other. And the way we set that up is with brackets. So those brackets inside of TOS, by default, when you set up your order ahead of time with those brackets, it's an OCO bracket. So the stop's in the system, the target's in the system at the same time. But if the target gets hit, your stop will be canceled out and vice versa to not leave an order still in the system that you're unaware of.
Okay.
Just wanted to give you that heads up, especially if we're going to be moving to live soon. The last thing I want you to do is get into a trade, hit target, go to sleep, come back the next morning and be like, why am I in a trade? Oh, because my stop was never canceled out and it filled me in.
Got you.
Yeah.
That's good to know. I didn't know
Fuck yeah,
that.
it is. It's good to know because I've made that mistake before. You know, I didn't use OCO, but I had my trade set up. It got triggered on one side. I walked away, came back. I'm like, why am I negative like 2 Gs right now? Oh, it picked up my other order on the other side. I never canceled it. So cancel other orders. So basically just those brackets ahead of time. You can still market order in, which is cool, but you can have a bracket set up. So have your stop loss typed up, your take profit typed up. So when you market order in, for example, at least it's that OCO setup.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool. Other than that, man, I know we talked last week. So goals, intentions for the week. Like, where are we at? What do you really want to accomplish this week?
I'm just really, like I say, I'm seeing the supply demand is working. I'm seeing the support resistance is working. I just need execution.
Reps.
Just that's it.
Reps.
I can see that it works. I just need to execute and start, do better at tracking and things like that. But as far as, and just get better with the analysts and analysis and work these fibs a little more and different
The
confluences.
fibs up there. Okay. So yeah.
Right now, I mean, the supply and demand, I was just looking at one of your zones earlier, which is where I had one of my zones. So it's pretty much dialed in. It's
nice.
Just take more reps and more screen time, like you say.
Cool. So that's the biggest goal for the week is, take as many of these trades as possible. You're still on the paper account. So reps. The more you're here every day, the more you're doing analysis like you did last night, just more screen time. You're going to make micro improvements on a daily basis with your zones. It's just going to come naturally with just you being here in the market. So you're always going to sharpen those skills. Definitely, let's make sure, like, by the end of this week, we've got our fibs dialed in as far as how we're drawing them correctly, whether we're in an uptrend, a downtrend, are we using fib retracements or extensions, and then be able to, like, read the trend as well, I think should be up there. So that's what I would say by the end of the week is being able to thoroughly read the trend on any time frame and understand what the trend is correctly, and then being able to draw those fibs and place those fibs correctly. That's a nice goal. And then, like you said, reps. It's not like, hey, I want to get 10 trades in this week. I just want you to take any trade that you see where we have overlapping zones, the setups that we talked about. Like you said, just execute. Take as many of those trades as possible and get them logged as thoroughly as possible. As long as we accomplish those things this week, we should be ready to move into a live account next week.
I have a quick question. Last week, you were working with someone on NVIDIA.
Tom, yeah, we were looking at NVIDIA on, I think, Friday.
And you put a retracement on it. You put a fib on it, but mine did not match up. So I don't, I think it's the...
So I saw the Go ahead.
Extension. You put the extension on it, and mine didn't match up.
Put an extension on it. Let's double check NVIDIA because I don't think I cleared anything out. So I have a fib retracement on NVIDIA, and that's what we were looking at Friday. So I put a fib retracement on it.
But I remember you saying you took it up, brought it back down, and took it back up. So I thought that was the extension.
So I'm looking at my chart, and so I haven't touched this since last week, and I have a retracement plotted on this leg to the upside. So I don't see an extension here.
Okay. Maybe I heard you wrong.
I mean, it's very possible that I accidentally said extension when I meant to say fib. So if that happened, my apologies. But what I noticed on NVIDIA was a daily leg, right? Where we had this daily high or low. We break the prior swing high, put in that higher high. So I was just measuring and marking up that daily leg to the upside with a retracement.
Yeah, for some reason, mine would not line up with yours.
So if we're taking it from this swing low here, which was the pre-market low from last Wednesday, up into the high of day from last Thursday, that was the leg. And those are the 2 points to run the fib retracement on.
Let me see where you're at. Let me look at it.
Yeah, it might be clearer if I take this to a 4-hour to kind of clean it up. And it does help a little bit taking it to a slightly larger time frame. But we see the higher low. We see the higher high. And this move up broke the prior lower high in the process. So we put in a slightly higher high here. So we can see that we have that swing low up to that swing high. And that gives us our 2 points to have ran that retracement on. But that retracement, I think we already came down and hit Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. So we had that retracement on there. Yeah, we already came down, hit the 618 Thursday, and we already saw a nice pop pretty much back up to those highs. So this retracement, I just wouldn't really utilize it anymore since we've already seen the retracement into the 618.
No, I wasn't thinking about using it. I just knew at the time you were talking about it, I didn't, for some reason, mine wouldn't line up.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that, everybody that's listening, we're on the same page, that we saw the 618 pullback Thursday, popped up. Since we've already seen the retracement into the fib, I just typically remove my fibs after that point and just wait for the next proper swing low, swing high, mark my fib up, wait for the next retracement, and I just rinse and repeat on every valid leg to the upside.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I just need to get some execution in.
So that's going to be the game plan then. Really just focus on executing this week, get all of those trades logged, continue sharpening the skills with how we're drawing the fib retracements, extensions, and getting clear on how do we read the trend on multiple time frames. And the milestone is, hey, we got some trades logged. We got more reps in. We have an opportunity to sit down and look at some of the baseline data that you have with the trades that you've logged and taken this week. So that's the milestone. And if everything's looking good and you're feeling confident and we're feeling pretty dialed, I would say, let's go live on Monday next week.
That's the plan.
Cool, man. Well, let me help you support that, man. Anything that comes up this week, any help you need, we need to spend some time on a one-on-one, whatever that looks like, man. You keep me in the loop, and let's make sure that we take advantage of the week, man, and that we hit that goal. And I got you, man. I'm here to support you.
10-4. Appreciate it.
Yeah, brother. And still haven't really seen too much. Let's go double check NQ. NQ didn't quite come down to that lower zone, but we're getting close to that 23,800. So that's psychological resistance, 23.8. And we have 3 overlapping zones of supply. But again, that supply is up against all-time highs. So we just naturally tread lightly with taking trades off supply at all-time highs. But if we have like really, really good realistic risk-reward, I'll entertain it. I just know getting short off supply at all-time highs, the probabilities are lower. All right, so it's a lower probability setup. So a 2-to-1, it's just not enough for me to get excited, knowing that the odds of this trade playing out in my favor are a little bit lower. I want to see good risk-reward potential. 3-to-1, 4-to-1, 5-to-1. The higher, the better. Get me excited to take this lower odd trade. So where would the entries be? Right off the midpoint of that third overlapping zone, right around 23.8. This is a trade where I would put stops above the overlap, because if I put stops above the top end of that 4-hour supply, I'm risking 46 points versus putting my stops above the top of the overlap, I'm risking 12 points. So I would rather get in with tight stops above the overlap, and if I get clipped at negative 12 points, I'm out. I don't have to take all that extra heat, 30 points to the upside, just to see if it's going to reject off the top of supply. I'm not going to take 30 points of heat to see if we even, set up for a trade at the top of supply. I'd rather get out for a small loss, let it come all the way up to the top of supply, and if I see it setting up, I can always re-enter at that time versus taking 30 points of heat and it not setting up in the first place to where I could have been out of that at negative 12 points. So that's how I want to trade NQ for those reasons, and why the stops are going to be above the overlap. And then we just got to look.
Trump is going to speak from the White House shortly, so just pay attention to whatever trades are in.
Well, that's going to be hands off for a second. Hands off. Never know what's going to happen. I would say
he's just talking about DC today.
Yeah, but he's always going to get questions because he always takes additional questions in a press conference, and he could say something that could change the direction of a trade potentially.
Very true. Yeah.
That's
Watch
why I
him
like
as
it.
well.
He is a very open president when it comes to speaking to the press. So he'll sit with somebody talking about one topic and go completely the other way with another question. So just to be aware.
Yeah, and he's actually meeting with the CEO of Intel this week as well.
Yep.
I think Tuesday.
Yeah, a
Don't have
reporter
to-
might say like, Trump, what are your thoughts on inflation? Trump goes, I don't like the CEO of NVIDIA. I think we should fire him. Like, okay. Random. NVIDIA tanks 10%.
Hey, Josh.
What's up, bud?
Another question on NQ.
Yeah.
I got pretty much the same zone you're in right there that we kind of looking at.
Okay.
What is your zone numbers there? Because I see mine is a little different than what I'm seeing on your screen.
For the supply or for that little support zone down below?
Support resistance.
Okay. So I got a little support zone down here between 23,652 to 23,672. About 20 points.
Huh. How did you? That's one thing I don't get. How did you get that?
So it's one of those areas on the daily where it's very limited, right? You don't have a lot of hits, but I see that there was an area of resistance in this region. We came up 2 days back to back, hit this area as resistance, dropped off pretty big. We gapped above it the next day, but flushed right back below it instantaneously, just to come right back up on Thursday, hit that zone as high day and drop big. So I really only have 3 points to build my zone. High a day, high a day, high a day. So it's already a lower significant zone because it's got like 3 touches. But I can see resistance, drop, resistance, drop, resistance, drop. So that's literally like the only zone I have up here that I at least see in the first place. Now what can I do? Well, this day, big red day below that zone, doesn't really do anything for us on the daily, right? It doesn't give us another hit off that zone. We can take it down to a lower time frame and just see what did we do off that zone on a lower time frame. Was it respected? Did we see good setups off of it? Can I further validate it? It's already a lower significant zone on the daily off of those 3 points, but let's go further validate this if we can and see if it is a significant zone. So here's what I see. That big red day that we had below that zone, I see a intraday crack and retest that set up off that zone. We came down and cracked below it, retested it as resistance, and proceeded to drop pretty hard to the downside. You don't see that on the daily. That looks good. Obviously, we get that high day reject on the daily. And then here, Friday, ran up to it, hit it as resistance, it backed down a little bit. Then eventually we broke above it, held above it, and pushed to the upside. So I could see some good development on a lower time frame off that zone. And I can further validate it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, but I'm just curious of how you tighten it up so much because I took mine from
Let me guess,
higher
like
day Tuesday on the 29th and higher day Wednesday.
Yep.
On the 29th, and that's why I did my zone, but the numbers don't match up with yours.
Right. So that's how my zone was at first, right? I was covering up all 3 of those hits. I had this hit, this hit, this hit. And then I looked at that zone and I'm like, dang, that's a big zone. That's a pretty big size of a zone for NQ. And I'm like, could I tighten this up? Yes. And then how would I tighten this up? Well, I would drag the top of my zone down to the high a day here on Thursday, August 7th. Yes, doing so, I don't capture that high here, right? So I do remove that point. I do lose that hit by tightening up my zone. But what can I do? Let me go down to this day on a lower time frame, right? And get a little bit more context, right? Because who's to say, like, what if we saw a crackback lower high drop on a 5 minute? Well, that would be really good intraday development, and we would see a proper setup taking place off that level. Yeah, even though we saw a wick above it on the daily, we see something on a lower time frame this day that allows us to further validate the zone. So it's like my zone initially off of those 2 points is pretty big. I want to tighten it up. By tightening up the zone, I lose that high a day, but I'm now going to go down to a lower time frame and specifically look at this day here to see what we did off that zone. And so let's go ahead and go to that high of day. And that was right here. So you see how we ran up? Yeah, we wicked above that zone, but we still sat below it for an hour as resistance. I mean, we're on a 15-minute time frame. So there's 4 15-minute candles. That's an hour of sideways consolidation as resistance off that zone. Does that stand out to you? Stands out to me.
Yes.
So yeah, little wick above it. But I can see that we never candle body closed above it and that we did still stay below that level. Yeah, I got a couple wicks above it here, but still stayed below it and consolidated under it and respected it as resistance. So I can justify tightening up my zone, losing that daily point because I still see good validation off that zone when I check this out on a lower time frame. I'm like, cool. I can see there's a reason that I can tighten that zone up. It makes sense because I see something on that 15-minute. And then I do the same thing here, right? That big red day, which we've already done. We already saw that crack retest drop. So we see good development off that zone, and we see that it was respected. So I can further validate that that's going to be a nice zone, and I can justify tightening it up off of those 2 points here to give me a 20-point zone versus a 40-point zone.
Okay.
So that's what I did there. Started big. I'm like, yeah, that's a big zone. What if I tighten it up? What does it look like? Lower time frame analysis. I see that it's a well-respected area. I'm going to keep it tight.
Yeah, I had the same zone, so after readjusting it, I like the price action with it.
So you took it off that high down a little bit, went to a lower time frame.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
See, what made me ask the question was that I was looking at you talk about it earlier, and going to the smaller time frames. Like I went to like the 5-minute, and I seen where it wicked into mine to the midpoint in pre-market.
Okay.
And then when it came down after market open, it wicked down, but it didn't make it. And I looked at yours, and it didn't on the aftermarket. It didn't make it to the zone, and it on yours it didn't make it to the midpoint on the pre-market.
What pre-market day?
I knew today.
Oh, today. Yeah, we didn't quite make it to the midpoint, but we came down and based off the top. Yeah.
And that's why I was asking the question. So I'm like, I know we're in the same area, so I was wondering why yours didn't make it to the midpoint and mine did. So I knew it had to be something different.
I gotcha. And I think the biggest thing is when I looked at the size of that zone, I'm like, that's 40 to 50 points. I'm like, fuck, making a decision to take a trade and a 50-point window in NQ is going to be tough, right? Because that's like, if I get in at the top of the zone and I'm risking 50 points, like, what is that? That's $1,000. I'm like, dude, that's a big window to try to drill down a good trade with realistic stops, and I don't have any other confluences. So I'm like, okay, that's a big zone. What if I were to tighten it up like this? Well, now my zone's 20 points. I'm like, okay, cool. So it's a lot tighter. Yeah, I lose this point, which sucks. But let me go look at this now on a lower time frame and see if it still makes sense to adjust my zone. And when we go look at that day on a lower time frame, we could see, yeah, it does make sense to readjust that zone.
Okay. So when you, just another quick question, when you looking at like, do you make a determination to raise it up or drop it down? Does it matter?
So say that again.
So you know how you brought it down? Okay, now I answered my own question. I see what you're saying.
Okay.
Because if you raise it up, you're gonna lose 2 points.
Yeah, I mean, I could have raised it up like this.
If
I wanted to.
Okay, so I guess the question is correct. So does it matter which way you go with that? Taking it down or raising it up?
No, because I mean, regardless, if I raise it up, I get 2 points. If I adjust it the way I adjusted it by bringing it down, I get 2 points. So regardless of how the adjustment's made, you're still left with a daily zone that has only 2 touches in it. So what are we going to need to do? Still take that down to a lower time frame and see out of these 2 zones which one looks to be better respected. And so if that means putting both of those zones up and going down to a lower time frame to see how that zone was respected and compare them, that's what we're going to have to do. So we have the zone with the adjustment to the downside, that's in yellow. We have the zone with the adjustment to the upside, that's in blue. And so when you're that close, sometimes you may just say, fuck it, I'm going to just use that big zone. Instead of having 2 separate zones and trying to choose which zone's going to be better respected because I can't further validate it. If that's the conclusion, like, you just got a big zone to work with. And if it's like you don't have any other confluences there, you don't see a good trade setting up, then just don't take a trade there, right? But if we can look at these 2 zones separately, compare them against each other, and see one stands out compared to the other, then we can make a good logical decision of this is the zone I'm working with and why. But if we can't see the difference, right, then we're just going to run one bigger zone. And that's how we would, really approach it. Let's go down to a 30-minute and let's just look at both of those zones and just look at those days and see, like, does one look better? We don't know. All we can do is see.
I think the bottom one looks better.
So we come up, little tap, 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 good price action, bracket, retest it. The other one's starting to look good. I mean, they both don't look bad, man. I'm not going to lie. I mean, they both have good action off of it. Here, they both look good. Here, they both look good. Here, we ran up to the top of the lower zone, hit it as a high, dropped on off. But let's look at this day. And this day, you're kind of like, you can kind of see both being respected. Ran up, hit the top one, dropped on off. Little snap back, higher low push off the yellow one. You came down and hit the blue one, bounced on up. So it's kind of like, I don't really see that one stands out, more significantly than the other. They both are pretty well respected, in my opinion, when you really drill that down to a lower time frame. So let's say that's officially the conclusion that we come to. It's like, dude, I look at the top zone, I look at the bottom zone. They both look to be equal. Then let's just keep it simple. Our zone is just going to be about 50 points big because there's no clear difference between the 2. But if we would have noticed a clear difference in one of those zones compared to the other, then that's going to be the zone we go with. The other one gets deleted. This one we can't. So it's like, I would just say, keep it simple. Just run it off all 3 points. And your zone's going to be about, what is that? I keep saying 50 points. Is it 50 points? It is 40 points.
Yeah.
So we're just using a little bit of discretion, right? We see that there's clear resistance here. We drill it down to a lower time frame. We see there's good price action. But where do I put the zone? Do I put it here or down lower 20 points? Right now, we're just going to have to use a little bit of discretion, go look at those, multiple time frames, and really just see what makes the most amount of sense based on the zone and based on the points that create the zone in the first place.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed a difference. I just wanted to ask a couple questions about it. I knew we were in the same area.
Yeah, and so, that's the one thing with support resistance when we're zoning is there's typically some discretion used to get those zones dialed in. It's not as straightforward as supply and demand, where it's like high to body, low to body. It's clear cut, supply and demand, how you mark it up. Support resistance, there's a little bit of discretion involved with marking the zones, how we're tightening the zones, taking it down to a lower time frame to look at development. But you're always in the right area, Anthony. I will tell you that. You're always in the right area. You're seeing clear areas of resistance and support. You're getting the right zones in the right areas. Now, with more experience, more screen time, as you learn more, you're just naturally going to get better with using your own discretion to get these zones as tight as possible.
Okay. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. right, let's see if NQ's going to set up. We got a plan built. Entries at 2304. No, 23,804. So a little bit above 23,800. So ideal entries 23,804. Stops 23,816. And right now, our targets is going to be 23,744. You get about upwards of 60 points of realistic downside. You're running about 12 to 13 points of risk. And there's going to be a good little 5-to-1 potential here on NQ. Again, I want to stress that this is all supply at all-time highs, right? And so the probabilities are naturally going to be lower on these shorts off supply at all-time highs. Odds are a little bit lower. So if I would have built this plan and it was a 2-to-1, am I really that excited to take it? Personally, no. Right? Lower odd trade, 2-to-1 risk reward doesn't really tickle the pickle. Doesn't really excite me. But when I start seeing, 4-to-1, 5-to-1 realistic potential on a lower probability setup, I can justify taking that 30% win rate trade. Because even at 30% win rate, if my average is 5-to-1 exit, I'm making good profit. So it's like I can justify this lower probability setup because I have really good risk reward to offset it. So that trade makes sense. I'll take that trade. So NQ coming up. I think this will be one of the first ones that set for us. So all eyes on NQ. And that's that. And since we have pretty much beaten up most of that, was that a 4 hour? No, that must have been my 1 hour. I'm going to just readjust that 1 hour and put it up over those hit highs just to force myself to not even want to take a trade inside of some of that lower supply since it literally just beat it up all night. So I'm just going to make that readjustment and force myself to only look at the untouched area of supply. And I don't even like the 1 hour. The 1 hour candle is just massive body. The 4 hour looks clean, rally base, big freaking impulse move to the downside. We broke the oppositional leg in the process. The body's less than 50%. Little time spent. I mean, that 4 hours is a significant 4 hour. It just sucks that it's up at all-time highs, which naturally reduces the probabilities. 1 hour, not crazy about the 1 hour candle structure, but the impulse was very strong. We eventually broke the oppositional leg. You got some 1 hour inside of the 4. And then that 30-minute looks a lot better. A little rally-based drop on your 30-minute. Got that 30-minute inside of the hour, inside of the 4. So that 30-minute overlap is where we want to take that trade. And that's right at psychological resistance as well, 23,800. Quick question as we wait. Has everybody got their accounts created on the new platform? If not, I want to make sure I get you guys a link sent.
I got it linked up, but I did not get the code or where to put the code in there to be able to show that I'm with you as a M3.
I already updated you on the back end. So you're good, buddy.
Right. Thank you.
Yep. Want to make sure everybody else got in.
Or how do I get to it?
I sent the link. Let me repost it.
Oh, it was on Trade Floor?
No.
Oh.
Oh, no. I think I sent it over in Discord, the announcement room. Let me go grab it.
When did you send it?
That was early last week.
Oh, okay. The install
way up there. No, No, not that one. Here, I'm going to send you another link in the announcement. So we got the new one. Yeah. So quick announcement. We're about 90% done with the migration. That's going to be the link in the coupon, the code to at least get your account created. Once the account is created, you guys can go install the app on your phone. And you guys can use the app version. You guys can enable push notifications. It's just going to be a better experience using the app versus trying to go to like a mobile browser. So I recommend just putting the app on your phone. If you use desktop, then you're good on desktop. So again, first link down here, create the account. Second link, going to take you to a quick little install page to put the app on your phone, and you guys will be good. Be able to sign in that way.
Listen what he said before someone tries to silence him.
Someone who doesn't know this deserves to continue her journey without knowing.
And then last thing I will say too is we'll officially be there September 1st. So we'll be off of Market Chatter completely here, 100%. That's what we'll be logging in over the next couple of weeks. You guys will be getting familiar with the system, getting signed up, downloading the app. If you guys notice any issues, just hit me up with issues and bugs. We get those resolved. And yeah, be good. And maybe even like, features. Like let's say there's a feature you're like, man, this would be nice to have. Just hit me up. And if we can put it in there, we will.
All right, I'm in.
Cool, man.
So we're going to be migrating off of Market Chatter Live, or okay, it gives you the schedule. That's sweet. Okay.
Yeah, everything's very cohesive. So you got all your Zoom calls in the calendar with the Zoom links. Any big announcements, you guys will get notified of that. Get push notifications on announcements as well. All the course material, pretty much everything you need. And just a really nice location, good user experience.
Oh, so you're kind of combining everything into one. Is that right?
Combining everything into one as far as
Discord and Market Chatter into
that's the objective. Yeah.
okay.
Is to take everything and put it into one. So we're still going to use Discord for now just because consistent notifications. So like announcements will still be inside of the Discord for you guys for like consistent push notifications, DMs in the Discord. But eventually, yeah, we'll have everything set up to where don't we need Discord? Definitely don't need to be inside Market Chatter. All the courses are here. The live stream rooms are built up in here. And then everything else that we utilize as well, it's going to be here for you guys in just one central location versus needing 5 different apps.
Cool.
Come on in, Q. Give us a little something here. Been waiting patiently. Yeah, Steve goes, where's the dark mode setting? That's a big project, believe it or not. To take something from a light mode to a dark mode, that's crazy on how stupid that is, complex. What'd you say, Paxton? I thought that was Paxton.
It was. I just second the dark mode.
You second it? Yeah. We'll get there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I know traders, everything's dark mode. I get it. But softwares, I prefer light mode softwares. I don't know. But we'll get a little dark mode in there for you guys. You'll be able to toggle that on and off.
Now the trade log, is that going to be tied to like TradeZilla, or
it's gonna be your own trade log that replaces TradeZilla to where you don't need to pay a $50 a month subscription. You'll be able to do everything here that you can do in TradeZilla. Besides the back testing and stuff, like obviously like importing your trades and logging your trades and having all your key stats and stuff like that. Yeah, you'll be able to do pretty much 90% of what TradeZilla does, just not the back testing stuff.
Gotcha. Cool.
All right. So as we're still waiting for something to set up, what a slower day. I want to keep getting involved with a lot of you guys. So talk to Corey, Anthony, good conversation. Who have I not heard from in a while? Where it's like, you know what, I really want to get clear on this week. You'll maybe set my intentions, or I have my intentions. Like, how can I help support you? Get me involved, and let's make sure that we have a good week this week, guys. Feel free to open the mic and let's jam. I don't have to specifically call on somebody and call you out.
I will hop on. I don't.
Marky Mark.
Good morning.
Good morning, buddy. How we doing?
Good morning. Doing good. For me, I mean, this week goal, like I've been, follow up. You told me just stick to your TP. I've been doing it, to be honest. I believe like more dial in my entry, better entry. But I would say try out this goal this week. Like
that was the goal.
Yeah,
that was the challenge. Was just take 5 to 10 days and just see your trades through, just to collect some good data around that.
Yeah, I mean, just like dial the entry, and then like I'm trying to really stick to my TP. I'm doing it. Just dial the entry. I'm trying to focus it, like my goal this week. And
so over the last 4 trades, you've built the plan, dialed in the entry, and just let it do its thing until it hit the stop or hit the target, and there was no adjustments made.
No, like last Friday, I took a trade. I went to work. I went to trade to my favor, went like almost half, like more than 3/4 off to hit my TP. Then it dropped, hit my stop loss, little drop, then it went back again. So I mean, but yeah, so
okay.
It's.
So I just wanted to make sure. I know it's only 4 trades. It's only 4 trades. But these 4 trades for this month are building the plan, seeing the plan through, not getting out too early. Just let the market do its thing and see how many of these trades actually hit target. Okay. Well, right off the bat, I already like your average win to loss. I mean, it shot up by 0.8. I know it's only over 4 trades, but you've almost done 100% increase in your average win to loss ratio, which is fucking crazy good. Really good. That's a good thing. First good sign. I like that. But yeah, let's get more reps in doing this, and let's really see what it looks like at the end of this week, man.
Yeah. I mean, just trying to I'm just like as he said, reasonable. Put your TP. Don't be like Then I'm doing it, to be honest. Even like the red trades you see. I believe my entry was dialed in. Like everything is there, but it just it just went against you. So
yeah, and what we already noticed is like last month you had 22 trades, 50% win rate, 1 average win to loss, and I see your profit. You already have more profits made this month in your first 4 trades than we did last month over 22 trades with the same win percentage. So all that extra profit, why are we making it? Well, it's because we're seeing our trades through. We're realizing more profit. Yeah, we have some losses, but we're still almost at a 2-to-1 average win to loss. And so we can even see, like, let's just say every 4 trades, it's the same exact outcome that you just had on the previous 4, where we maintain a 50% win rate and we maintain, right, that 2-to-1. And we just do that this week and again next week and again next week. And we have consistency with that data over just 4 trades, right? We could start to project what that looks like at the end of the month as far as profit.
Yeah.
And it looks good. So I like what I see. Again, I want to stress, I know it's only 4 trades. You can't make decisions on just 4 trades, but it's a good start in the right direction. And things are already looking good as we expected. So let's just keep implementing this. This week, we should maybe have 10 plus trades in, hopefully. by the end of the week, and that'll give us, some preliminary baseline data to take a look at, and we'll go from there, man. But so far, so good.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Second thing, one of my goals, like of my, my entry more trying to have more confluences, as you always mention,
Mm-hmm.
which is that was like kind of really stick with it, which is that's what I'm trying to do for my past week. This goal to try to have more confluences with your entry of the
Definitely.
trade.
More confluences, better trades, get focused on the better trades. Let's focus on executing the best of the best trades with the confluences. Absolutely. You do a really good job with your analysis and your planning. So your entries obviously can always be improved, as can mine. And you're actively working on that, trying to dial in entries every single day. You place realistic stops and you're placing realistic targets. And I know you do a good job at that. Now, like you said, it's, again, more reps and seeing a bulk of these trades through to collect that data to see is like, okay, what can I expect if I just do this consistently from here on out? What can I expect? And we can start to project how much money you can start to make if we just replicate that type of trading day in, day out. And we'll start to see the bigger picture of like, oh, wow, I could do really good. So that's the point I want to get you to, is I'm really fingers crossed hoping that this little tweak was the one little tweak that really just gets you going in the right direction to where we can start to talk about scaling, and all kinds of stuff, man.
Yeah, that is yes, absolutely nail it. I mean, yeah, I'm trying to more do rep, whatever you've been telling me. That was like my goal, I would say. See how that stick to TP works. Then yeah, have your pretty much dialed in your entry, like most get the best B plus setup at least.
Yeah, at least a B setup, 3-to-1 risk reward on the B setup. I'm okay with that. An A plus setup, minimum 2-to-1. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I have which is I don't know. I just discovered on my training journey or whatever. Like I've been discovering, then I was like, oh shit, I think this is a good thing. It's like the market is moving up or moving lower. I was like always open the hourly time frame, and mostly giving me a picture what is the trend is going, like going up, going down, which is like you have that right. Like pretty much you look at it like 4 hours one daily doesn't really give you the the like what's the market will be heading for the day, but hourly really gives me like what's the day the trend will be what's will be hitting. Do you have that or just?
What do you mean? Do I have that? Like, do I have?
Like, I mean, did you use that like as like hourly time frame?
Oh, I'm always looking at the trend across every time frame, 100%. Yeah, because I mean, there's really going to be two types of trades. If we break it down, you're going to have a trade against the trend, a reversal, a counter trend trade, or you're going to have a trade that's in line with the trend. So if we don't know how to read the trend, we don't know what type of trade it is. Counter trend with the trend, and then could we get follow through? Like, let's be real. If we have, a strong uptrend on the daily, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, and we want to get short, that's a counter trend trade. Yeah, but when we're in a daily 4 hour, 1 hour uptrend, right? Multiple time frames uptrending, that's strong to the upside. And we want to get short. That's okay. We can still get short, but are we expecting full blown follow through or maybe a quick scalp? Yeah. Quick scalp. Yeah. But if I see that I'm going to take this trade and I'm in line with the daily, the 4 hour, the 1 hour trend, I would at least expect to see more follow through with that trade. So now I'm going to manage it longer, trail stops up. I would have different expectations based on the trend, but I'm always looking at the trend and I'm comparing the trend across multiple time frames because you could be in a daily uptrend, but you can be in a 1 hour downtrend, right? So understanding the trend that you're in on the time frame compared to the larger trend and the larger time frame trend will help you just naturally make better trading decisions and be able to set proper expectations. Is this truly just a scalp where I'm getting in, getting out very quickly, right? Or am I going to maybe manage this a little bit further and expect more follow through because at least I'm trading with the trend?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So absolutely, man. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been I don't know, experiencing like a week or so. Like I look on hourly time frame, like pretty much give me alert what the trend will be heading. Like we haven't done it. Like lower time frame you don't really know much, but in on hourly it really gives me a picture. Oh, we're gonna have downtrend today. We're gonna pull back and whatever and all that.
Yeah, and if you're seeing that and you're reading the trend correctly and you're able to utilize that as a part of your analysis and decision-making process to take trades and it's helpful, dude, lean in on that. Absolutely. The biggest thing is just making sure that we're actually reading the trend correctly.
Yeah.
That's it. And
Yeah,
all you need is 2 clear legs in one direction to confirm a trend. You need 2 clear legs in one direction, whether that's up or down. So if you see that you have 2 clear legs up, you're in an uptrend. 2 clear legs down, you're in a downtrend. If you have 1 leg up or 1 leg down, and you're still maybe working on the second leg, you're technically range bound at that point in time. There is no trend. You need 2 clear legs in one direction to confirm the trend. And sometimes it's easier. Like sometimes looking at the candlestick chart can kind of be hard sometimes to really like read the trend. And then sometimes even on a weekly, sometimes it could be a little challenging to like properly read the trend. So this is a little tip. If you just change, like let's say you're on a daily and you're like, dude, this is kind of hard to read the trend on a daily. Looking at my clear legs, my swing lows and swing high, you can just change your chart from a candlestick chart and change it to a line graph. And then that's going to help really break this down to where you could clearly see the legs, the swing lows, the swing highs, and really start to, okay, here's the trend. Yeah. Because I could see, this is a lot easier to read this with a line graph than it was with a candlestick chart. So I can see we have, a high. We put in this lower low here. So we got this first leg down. Then we bounce on up, high, higher low, higher high. So we have little leg up, pull back leg up. So now I can see that we were in an uptrend here. We put in this lower low, first leg down. We're range bound. And then we see 2 additional clear segments to the upside, 2 clear legs up. Now we're back in a daily uptrend. So it's sometimes easier to see that just by putting it into a line graph than it is looking at candles. Let's be honest. That's a little bit more challenging to read. I can see it. I can see the leg up, pull back, leg up. So I can see those 2 legs. But newer traders, that's going to be tough to see. Like that's a leg, pull back low, that's a leg. But throw it on the line graph, so much easier to see that. And that works for any time frame. You can do that on any time frame. So yes, to answer your question, I'm always looking at the trend, right? Because that's going to help me make the best decisions on my trade as possible, right? How do I know I just want to scalp this for a 2-to-1? Well, typically like dip buys, reversals, panic pops, counter trend trades, scalps, 100%. I'm not expecting follow through. Why would I? With the trends, then it's like, okay, cool. Entries here on the retracement low. In an uptrend, I would start targeting prior highs, and I would look to scale out of these trades a little bit longer, expecting follow through. And I want to capitalize on that potential follow through.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, lean in on that, especially if you're seeing it. It's helping you make better decisions. It's helping you say, okay, I'm going to take this trade and see my trade plan through to the very end because I'm with the trends. Or vice versa. Yeah, lean in on that. That's going to help you tremendously.
To be honest, it works. Just like I've been trying a lot of weed. Like, yeah, just tell me like, hey, check, it's gonna go up. It's really but I know. And today I look at a trend as an hourly. I look at it as a price action with the trend. Looks like we got to get some pullbacks. Which is, but
you can clearly see that roll. On the 1 hour, a lot easier than you see on a 5. And that's why I'm always in between my time frames throughout the day. It's like sometimes I'll just leave my chart on a 1 hour. Because it's like we're not anywhere close to one of my levels anyway to need to be on a 5 minute. I don't see a trade. It's like sometimes I'll just leave it on a 1 hour and just get more 1 hour context and look and see how we build and move on a 1 hour. So yeah, I'm always between the different time frames throughout the day.
Yeah. I have is that a new platform? Trollo?
Is that a
Have you heard?
new Yeah, so we had
Yeah,
Asana. So when we started, we were using Asana.
yeah, Asana. Okay,
But then Asana went bye-bye, and we use Trello now. Yeah,
Trello.
but it's the same thing as Asana that we were inside of.
Okay. The new like the M3. Yeah, this one. I think you said it's gonna be like mobile app too, or
There
not
is.
yet.
Yeah,
Oh,
there.
there is.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Oh. I tried to
So
look it up store.
yeah, it's not on the App Store. We got to get it published, but there's still a backdoor way to get the app on your phone. Until we get it published, I found a solution. So if you already have an account created, awesome. Go to Discord, go to the M3 announcements channel, and the message right here. Here's the app. Go ahead and click the install link. It's going to take you to a page to go ahead and get the app on your phone without having to go through the App Store. And at least it's going to put it on your phone. You can log in. It's going to be the app version. So it was a little backdoor route to be able to get that live. But that's live. You can put it on your phone. You can log in right now. You could start to use it. And you guys are all set to start getting familiar with the platform, where everything's located, stuff like that.
All right, cool.
Yeah, man.
I tried opening that up on over the weekend, and I couldn't get the link open. It was just loading and loading and loading. Are we still using that same link you first put up?
To create an account or for the app?
I guess it was to create the account, which I had already done, and I did it wrong, and then you changed it.
Yep. So you're good on that. Got you in there.
But
yep.
Then I guess I don't have access to the website because I didn't like save it or bookmark it or anything.
Okay, so if you want to go
just clicking the registration link, and the registration link wasn't bringing me to the website.
It won't. It's just going to take you to the registration page.
Right.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so if you want to log in, just go to our website, alphadaytrading.com. When you click log in, it's going to take you to the login page for the new app. So you can log in that way on desktop. If you want to put the app on your phone, go to the Discord channel in the M3 announcements room. And then right here it says, for those of you that want the app, here's the app for the new platform. So you're just going to click the link. It's going to take you to a page that looks like this. You can see the screenshots. You can see the type of app that it is for now till it's on the App Store. Then you just click install. You'll follow like 2 steps to install it, and then the app will be on your home screen. You can click it, and it's going to bring you into the app.
Yeah, so I just I just got to the website on my phone. So is this already the app? No, this is in the browser.
If you didn't click the install and go to the install page to actually install the app, it's going to be in the browser. It's not going to be on your home screen.
Right, yeah. I'll go rewatch because I wasn't watching you. I was getting on the website.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, just go to the M3 announcements channel on Discord, and you're going to see the link where it says install the app. Just click the link, follow the prompts, and you're going to see the icon put to your home screen. When you click it for the first time, hit sign in. You'll need to sign back in, hit remember me. That'll get you in. So anytime you close the app and come back, at least it remembers you, and it's not going to ask you to log in every single time. Oh, NQ, you get close, but not close enough. It is a little bit of a slower day for sure. Silver's not down where we need it. ES and Q haven't set up yet. Man, might be one of those days, a tradeless day, but that is okay. All right. Well, we don't have anything sitting in front of us right now. So we always want to use our time wisely. So far I've heard from a good majority of you. Who is next? Who would like to share their goals and intentions for the week? Get me involved. I want to be able to support you guys.
It's Jared.
Jared.
My intentions are to work through the emotions of putting back money into the system, actually having to work through those emotions once again.
Okay.
I gotta trust my process and not panic.
Absolutely. You know, what helps us get better, one thing with, you know, controlling emotions is just to have confidence. Confidence will naturally like suppress emotions. Like you said, it's just really being confident in the process, confident in yourself to execute that system flawlessly, like you've already done past couple of weeks. Just really building that level of confidence will naturally help suppress the emotions. Outside of that, though, let me ask you this, Ben, like specifically, what are we going to do this week specifically to work on emotional regulation?
Well, we get back, stay into my routine where I keep my blood sugar back the way it's supposed to. I eat before I start. I actually get some meditation time before
I love that.
The actual market opened this morning. I will fully admit I was finishing up the last of my charts on AMD and Amazon, and by the time I looked at it, I realized, oh shit, I'm already 918. And I think I went into like, I'm missing you, I'm missing, you know, everything else. And then I started to go into a more of a, you know, what did I miss kind of notion.
We're in that mindset. Okay. Got us into like an urgent state of mind. Like, what zones did I miss? What? Okay. Gotcha. We were just trying to speed through it a little bit.
Yeah. And try to play catch up. And then Microsoft, I felt, was, you know, going the right direction. It started out, but then I held on to it when it came up to my loss zone because of price action, and then it broke out of my loss zone, so I got out for a small loss, $28.
Perfect. That's in line with the parameter.
Yeah, I was in the parameter. 38. My mistake. 38. Which I was holding on a $35. At least my calculation was, and I was okay with that loss.
Okay. You accepted it ahead of time. It was in line.
I accepted
with
it ahead of time.
I
knew going in there, and I think I held on it for 1 second longer than I, you know, the difference between the different screens. I had to realize that the trade view was delayed until I fixed that this week versus think or swim. So I caught that ahead of time. So it just went out of my zone by a small wick, but I'm still happy with it. It just didn't work the way I wanted it to. I was okay with that, and now I'm waiting for the next one. But I'm working on the emotions of it's a loss. It's one loss. You're fine.
It's okay.
You know, keep moving.
That's it.
Look for the next trade.
You know, what helps me a lot is when I have a loss, I just go look at the trade. Like, did I do everything right? Yep. Was my analysis dialed in? Yep. Was that an A+ trade? Yep. Did I build the right plan? Yep. Did I execute the plan flawlessly? Yeah. So that's a good loser. And I just chalk it up as a good loser, and it's a part of the 40% that I'm going to have. So it is what it is. On to the next one. Yeah, it makes me not really care at all about the losing trade. I'm like, I'm going to have 40% losers. That's one of them. On to the next one. Maybe it's a winner. We shall see.
Yep.
Okay, so it seems like there's definitely some stuff you're doing for emotions. I dig it. The meditation really stood out to me. Meditations in the morning, just the process of learning how to control our minds and the thoughts. That's going to help us with being aware when we're emotional. And then, you know, obviously having some discipline to say, you know what? Okay, I'm emotional. I feel it. I'm aware of it. What am I going to do to like curb the emotions? And just having some discipline. Having a non-negotiable that, you know, maybe says that if you feel any kind of emotions at all, you're just going to disconnect from the market for say 5-10 minutes. Maybe that's going outside, you know, getting a breath of fresh air. Maybe that's just popping in another meditation. I don't know, but meditation alone is going to help us be aware of when we're emotional. So now we're aware, but now we need the discipline to be able to not give in to the emotion. So what's that non-negotiable? What's the thing that you're going to commit to with discipline when you feel the emotions? We've got to get clear on that. Is it going to be popping in another meditation, or is it just going to be, hey, I'm going to go walk outside for 5 minutes and just get some fresh air and clear the mind? But there's got to be something there.
The clearing the mind before entering the next one, in the realization that my analysis was correct, but the market decided to do what it wanted to do, so it just didn't work. And accept that, look for the next one. I'm okay with it. I got to just let go of it. That's but yes, the meditation after the loss, I went through and I documented it all. I did it through TradeZilla. I've made sure that that's my, win or lose, that needs to take place before I even start looking at the next possibilities.
Absolutely. At least, that disconnect, log in the trade for sure. And then when you come back to the market, if you still feel the emotions, then, at that time, what are we going to do? So it's going to be, hey, like, I'm going to walk away because I still feel the emotions, and I'm going to meditate right then and there before coming back in, looking for the next opportunity. Something else you can do as well, and this is something I always give a disclaimer around. If you have any underlying health conditions, please consult with your doctor first before running this, because it is something that is a little intense, but this is something that helps just completely suppress those emotions within about 5 to 10 minutes. It's a really nice just reset. It's called the Protocol Energy Shift. So you can find that inside of the Asset Vault. You go down the Asset Vault all the way under the Subconscious Transformation Training Material section. You'll see the Protocol Energy Shift. And so if we feel like, damn, my emotions are getting the best of me, I've meditated, and I just still feel that tightness, the emotions, I'm aware, I feel it, and I've already meditated. Hey, I would go say, run the Protocol Energy Shift. That's going to be something that you walk away from with, like, dude, just clear, no emotions at all. You're going to feel like you can conquer the world. That's going to be very helpful when you need it. It's very intense, though. I will tell you that. It's very intense. So that's one thing.
I'll put that in the program for today. That would be a good start.
Yeah, for sure. When we need it, right? We may take a loss and just feel great. Like, okay, that was a good losing trade. I'm feeling good. I got my trade logged. Let's go. Your awareness. I'm not emotional. I'm excited. It's a good loser. Well, we don't need to go meditate. We don't need to go do the shift, right? But if we notice, like, fuck, man, my emotions are kind of still getting the best of me. They're lingering. Damn. Yeah, meditate. That doesn't help. Run the shift. That's going to help when we need it. All right. So that's like in the moment, things that we do in the moment. But what can we do not in the moment? Just throughout our days to consistently develop to where we are just naturally getting better every single day when it comes to emotional regulation. I would say spend some time in the mindset course, right? We don't really need to be in the technical course. You got a system, you got your technicals dialed. We know where we're at. Right now, we're really focused on mindset and emotions. I would go watch some of the emotional regulation videos we have on specifically around controlling emotions and regulating emotions.
Cool. Will do.
Yeah, man. So this is just like we're being proactive. We're actively, developing the discipline we want, the ability to regulate emotions. And we have the things where we're, active with in the moment when we need to do that meditation, when we need to do that energy shift. We have those resources when we need them. But that's going to help you hit your goal this week to make sure that we're just developing the skills of being able to regulate emotions, keep them in check. Cool, man. All right. Who wants to get that mic open next? Get clear on what we're going to accomplish for the week. No one opens the mic. I'm going to start calling on you. So before I start calling on you, you may want to dip out of the Zoom if you don't want to be put on the spot, because I'm talking to everybody today.
Could we look at one of the trades I took?
Absolutely. What do we got?
It's MES. I have it logged on TradeZilla. I don't know if you can see it.
I sure can. Let's go look at your TradeZilla. And again, for those traders that are like, Josh, quit doing the coaching stuff. Let's take trades. There's no trades in front of us. So it's okay. There's not a trade. If you think you see something, let me know. We'll put a pin in the conversation, get back into the stocks, and we'll see if we have any opportunities. But I consistently scan through the watch list, and I don't see anything, okay? Trust me, I would love to take a trade today. All right, Mr. Paxton, right there. All right, and we got 3 trades logged. Dope.
The one that I'm wanting to look at is the one on MES for the 7th on Thursday.
On Thursday? Cool. Got your trade logged. We got a screenshot in there. Oh, no.
Yep, I have 3 screenshots.
I do not see the screenshots. Oh, you put them here. Okay, that's cool.
Whoops. I didn't realize there was an attachments area.
Anywhere you want to put them, that's fine. Attachments, that's cool. If you want to put them in here, that's fine too. And honestly, this may be better if I can blow this up. Yeah, it's not bad. I can blow it up a little bit bigger than attachments. All right. So this was a trade that you took on Thursday, MES. Which screenshot would you like me to look at first? Any specifics?
I believe it is the 3rd one. Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Yes, sorry.
Okay.
That's the 1 hour time frame.
1 hour time frame, drop, base, rally from low to body. Okay. I got your I see the 1 hour.
So I had 3 zones there. Let me pull my notes up.
So that was the 1 hour. Then I'm on that's a 2 minute. What time frame is this? A 2 minute. But this was.
So I had. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
So I had the 1 hour, 30 minute, and 15 minute demand zones.
Okay.
And then I had the midline drawn on the 15 minute, which overlapped with the support.
Okay.
But it never came into the smallest zone.
Uh-huh.
But on this picture specifically, you can see that I have circled the falling volume.
Yep.
Which made me think if it doesn't get into the smallest zone, it's still going to reverse.
Mm-hmm.
Which is on the higher time frame, which was a reason that I took the trade.
Trading with the trend, larger time frame.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm liking where you're at so far. You're doing a really good job, by the way, of explaining this and articulating it. And so far, I like where you're at.
So and then if you go to the first screenshot, I believe, you can see where I have the circle at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
At the very bottom on the volume. You can see that the volume was increasing for the sellers, but then dropped off on the very next red candle, was significantly lower, which also gave me indication for an entry on the 2 minute time frame.
Okay.
Which is why I didn't enter on the lowest zone. I entered on that signal.
Yeah, and so you had other things in the moment that gave you a buy signal, and it was not at the midpoint of the smallest zone. That's fine, right? You're doing a good job at reading the price action. You're looking at your volume as confirmation, right? You're still able to see other reasons that suggest take the trade here. It may not make it to the midpoint. But if you didn't have the skill of reading price action to be able to look at the volume, right, you would never have been able to make that decision in the first place. So keeping it easy, just enter off the midpoint until we have these skills to do what you just did. But good recognition, good analysis. I like it. Here's one thing I want to say about volume. And this is something that I was stuck with for a couple of years, and then it made sense when someone explained it to me. Just because the bars on your volume are red doesn't mean that was all selling volume. Did you know that?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So anybody else that's listening, just because you see red volume bars does not mean a majority of that volume was from sellers. The only reason your volume bar is shaded red is because your candle is shaded red. Green volume bars, it's because the candle is green. So you could see the stock moving on down, right? And you could see all these big red bars. And you think at first glance, there's a lot of selling pressure here. But when you look at the volume, compare that in conjunction, use it in conjunction with price action, that's volume price analysis, you may see great price action and a lot of lower shadows on those red candles, indicating a lot of buying pressure, and you have a lot of those larger red volume bars. That's actually a positive thing. A lot of traders would look at that and say there's a lot of selling pressure at that level of support because they got a lot of red volume bars. That's not true. That actually may indicate that you have a lot of buyers stepping in. Yeah, the volume bars are red, but when you go look at the chart and you see a lot of lower shadows, right, and you're like, damn, buyer stepped in aggressively, and you have large red volume bars, that's an indication of buyer stepping in aggressively, that you could see the reversal for sure. That's volume price analysis. And if you guys want to dive deeper into volume price analysis, there is a book inside of the Asset Vault by Anna Colling titled The Ultimate Guide to Volume Price Analysis. And so if you go to the PDF books and digital downloads, technical analysis area, scroll down and you'll find that book and read it. There's definitely some good key takeaways, but that's volume price analysis. All right, cool. So back to the trade Paxton. All right, comes down. You're watching the volume. You see the price action. You're starting to think, I don't think it's going to come down to the midpoint. I'm starting to get some signals to enter here. So I'm going to make the decision to go and enter here based on some of the other, confluences and analysis that I'm doing.
Yes, and then if I initially set my risk reward as coming off the midline.
Mm-hmm.
So the whatever that thing is, the profit thing that's in the screenshot here, isn't necessarily completely accurate because I didn't move it up before I took the screenshot.
If we would have taken that up a little bit, that would have probably been a 1.7 to 1 risk reward.
Yeah, so
without adjusting stops. Yeah.
Yep. And then if you go to the second screenshot, I took my real target was yesterday or the prior day's high.
I like it. Okay.
So
you nailed the entry. I like that little higher low formation too. I don't know if that caught your eye, but it comes down pretty close to the midline, doesn't get there, pops up, comes down, puts in this little intraday higher low here. You're still looking at volume and price action. I can see this clear higher low on the lower time frame, and I like those higher low pushes off key zones when they set up. So you get that little higher low push formation. So that's another little confluence that I see after the fact. And yeah, you set a target pretty far away. You did. Did you, as you're building the plan and, looking at your target and whatnot, asking like, is it realistic that my target gets hit? Did you go look at the trend that you were in? Was there any
the
analysis?
overall trend?
Yeah. Did you look at any time frames and say, what is the trend on ES right now?
If any of them, it was the daily.
Mm-hmm. And what was your assessment on daily trend?
That we were going up.
Okay, there you go.
But
so you're getting wrong. You're right. I just want to make sure that you're, at least assessing what the trend is when we're finishing our plans, right? So that's a pretty far away target, right? You're asking for a big move off demand back up to your target. Let's be honest. We're asking for a big move, and that's okay.
Yeah.
If we're trading with the trend, okay, cool. We could see that big move up to that realistic target because I'm trading with the trend. I expect there to be upside follow through. So that makes perfect sense. But let's say your assessment was we are in a daily downtrend, a 1 hour, a 4 hour downtrend. Would you still expect that to be a realistic target getting long when you're in a strong multiple time frame downtrend?
No.
So we probably wouldn't assess our target that far away. We would build that plan for a quick scalp, get a quick 2 to 1, 3 to 1, not a potential 5 to 1. But that makes sense. Look at the trend, multiple time frames. What trend are you in? Up. Cool. I'm getting long with the trend. I expect follow through. Beautiful. Realistic target. I like that. All right. Dude, I don't see anything wrong with the trade, at all. You walked me through it beautifully, articulated it very, very well. It makes perfect sense why you took it. You had at least 3 overlapping zones. Those are your 3 confluences. You saw other things in the moment that brought you into the trade early. It's justifiable. It's logical. Makes perfect sense. I dig it. Realistic stops. I see your target on the next trade. Prior day high. Realistic target. Trading with the trend. Textbook, dude. Absolutely textbook. And looks like this actually went through and hit your target.
Yeah, that was the only thing that I wasn't 100% sure about, because it hit the target after close, and ideally,
You want to be out before close.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like you would have never got to your target. Like you would have been like, okay, it's 2 minutes till close. Where's my trade at? Oh shit, it's close to target, but I got 2 minutes till close. We just got to close the position.
Yeah, so that was the only thing, was that it went after hours.
Yeah.
To get to the target, but
you
I still thought it
still
was a decent trade.
More than decent. That was a good trade. Really good trade. More than decent. But yeah, in that scenario, it's like, you know what? You have your target here, but you're like a minute before close. Like, you're just going to have to make the decision to take profit, even if it's not at your target. Even if the stock was down here and you're not even at a 2-to-1, but you're that close to close, you just got to close the trade, man. 100%. And it is what it is. But yeah, hit the target. Good exit. You got well over 90% of the move that you expected. So taking profit when you're that close to target, be proactive, take profit, scale out if you got multiple contracts. You've already caught 90% of the move. How much of that move are you willing to give back to make the extra 10%? Right?
Yeah.
Most of the time, it just makes sense to start being proactive and start scaling. I think that was a well-rounded, fucking awesome trade, dude. I like it. I don't see anything that I would have done differently. Period. I like that a lot.
And those were just a bunch of the notes that I had taken while I was looking, or while I was doing the trade.
Okay, so 4 hour, but it had already been invalidated. No. If volume of basing candle is higher than the candle that invalidates it, then possibly consider it still valid. Let's go look at the 4 hour on MES.
Yeah, it's just an idea that I'm
thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so this was a trade that you took Thursday, and so you said the 4 hour demand here was invalidated?
Yes.
Okay.
Or, that is not correct, because that is not fun. Uno momento.
Very good.
Sorry. So let me. Yeah.
And I'm really proud of you too for like how descriptive you were with your notes, not just so I understand the trade, but this is going to be really beneficial for you in the future when we go back and review trades. Having these detailed notes, you're going to love it. So good job on that, dude. Yeah, that's very detailed. Very clear reasoning. Yeah, dude, that's exactly what we want to see for a trade log. Good stuff.
Okay, so yeah, there was a 4-hour demand zone that was made. It looks like it was made after hour, or at 1:30 a.m. on Wednesday. At least on my chart.
Okay. So I see it's a 6 a.m. candle for me. I'm on MES, 4 hour time frame. And for me, it's a 6 a.m. candle on Wednesday.
Oops. Sorry, wrong time frame.
No, you're good.
Okay, so yeah, so there was the 1 hour time frame, or the 6 o'clock, or sorry, the 6th at 1 o'clock. And then also there was the one on Tuesday at 5 o'clock. At the very top of those 3 reds.
The very top of the 3 reds.
Yep. So that red and then the green next to it.
Right here?
So the red candle before the drop.
Right here, yeah.
That one, and then if you go like 7 candles to the right, that
1,
green
2,
candle in between
3,
the 2 big
4,
ones.
5, 6. This here?
Nope, the one to the right. That one.
Okay.
Those were the 2 that I had marked up that were invalidated.
Gotcha. Okay, so that was invalidated. Okay. Where'd your trade pop off? Wasn't it not down here off the low a day on Thursday? I mean, 63.30 was the entries, right? Yeah, 63.30. So you were looking down in this region here. So yeah, that demand zone here was definitely invalidated for sure. Price moved through it, but you still had a valid 4-hour where you had your 1 hour, 30-minute, 15. There was still a nice little 4-hour down there.
I don't know why I didn't see that. Why am I?
Because this is what your chart would have looked like on that day. Because you would have had a chart that looked like this.
I don't know why I had that. Yeah, I'm looking at it again. I don't know why I had that as invalidated.
Maybe you just got confused with typing it. Like maybe you were looking at that 4-hour saying it's invalid. You just wrote it down. But yeah, you got some 4-hour. You got your 1 hour down there that I saw marked up. Your 30. Yeah, so you had some overlap for sure. Let's mark it all up. You got your 4-hour. Let's mark up the 1 hour. Let's go mark up the 30 minutes. Let's go mark up a 15 if we got any. No, 15 will be the same as the 30. There's nothing.
I don't necessarily know if going down to a 15 is viable. I was just trying to get 3 zones.
Yeah, I mean,
overlapped.
For me, obviously, the higher the time frames you're working with your overlap, the more significant. Sometimes with the trend, you get more follow through, etc. But like, I still trade. Like, I'll scalp off like a 30-minute, 15-minute, 5-minute overlap if we've got it. I'll still look for quick little intraday scalps off of those lower time frame overlaps for sure. And you still see them respected. I mean, I took a trade off of 5-minute zone on the Qs on Friday. It was just a 5-minute demand zone intraday. But we had a decent little reaction when we hit it. My risk reward was like a 4-to-1. I'm like, well, I'm going to take it. And I still took it, and it played out nice. And it was just a 5-minute basing candle. I didn't even have any overlap. I just took a quick little one reason scalp, good risk reward, and it played. So yeah, definitely, I'd still go down to a 15-minute. If you have anything on a 15, mark it up. You go down to a 5-minute, and you can see it on a 5-minute. That shows you in that 5-minute window where that battle took place. So yeah, you got your 4-hour, your 1 hour, your 30-minute, but you get that 5-minute candle. That shows you where that battle took place on a 5-minute. You could clearly see it on a 4, but being able to drill that down to a 5-minute, powerful stuff. So I'll even take it to a 5. And so that would have given you hella overlap, tons of overlap.
Yeah, see, the zones that you have, I don't think are. Oh no, okay, never mind. They are closer to what I was looking at then.
Yep, because it came down into your 4-hour, 1 hour, and hit like the very top of the 30. Came down, popped, comes back down. Nice little higher low formation. I know you were reading price action, looking at the volume. I like that little higher low formation after seeing it pop out of demand. You took your trade. I mean, yeah, it's good trade. I don't see anything wrong with it, dude. Solid analysis leading up to it. I mean, your zones are dialed in. Yeah, and you use some discretion to make a decision to take a trade based on what you saw in real time, and it was a good decision to make. So if you can just do this type of trading all day, every day, you're gonna crush it. It's good
I just
stuff.
don't know if my entry was necessarily really good because if you scroll in or zoom in rather, my entry was on not on the pullback.
So it wasn't right.
On
Okay.
it was on the first big green candle. No, to the left. Sorry. That.
So as that candle was pushing, you got in.
Yeah. So on the 2-minute, let's get into the 2-minute real quick. So it's still the big green candle, but
Yep.
as that pushed up over that that area right there, and volume increased above the prior bar, that's when I got in, or that's what my entry would have been. I don't necessarily know if it was good. I probably should have waited for the pullback for more confirmation.
I mean,
But
let's say it already made a big explosive move out and you're still justifying pulling the trigger up here after it's made a big explosive move. You're chasing it. Yeah, you got to sit back and wait to see if you get a pullback entry. But I don't think you chased it. I mean, you started to see the push. You see the volume moving in. It's starting to break that prior little 2-minute swing high. I mean, but even leading up to that, you're hitting zones of demand. You're looking at your volume increase, but you clearly see we're basing. So volume price analysis tells me that there are a lot of buyers here. We have volume increasing, but price isn't moving down. That tells me that there's a floor of buying taking place with that increase in volume. Then I see the push with the increase in volume from buyers. We're breaking that prior. Dude, yeah, it's a good entry. It's like, did you nail it and actually, like, tick it off the low? No, you're not going to tick it off the low every time. But when we do top tick a stock or low tick a stock and we absolutely catch the high or the bottom, it's a great feeling, but it's not going to happen all the time. Like, do I think you got a great entry? Like right here when the low was put in? Dude, that's a really good entry. I mean, it bounced maybe 4 points off the low and you got in. Like, dude, that's a great entry. Now, if it had made a big move like this and then you still decide to get in up here, okay, there's a problem. Right now we're chasing it. Now the entry is not good at all. But this entry down here was perfect. Dude, it was great. Great entry, man. You pretty much nailed the absolute bottom on this. So the entry was fucking great. I mean, you did nail the bottom. Yeah, like your entry was perfect, dude. So I don't see anything wrong with the entry. Did I lose you? Maybe. But I like it. I think it was a good trade. I think there was a lot of reasonings leading up to pulling the trigger that made you confident to do so. And I like it. I don't see anything wrong with it.
sorry, I had to step away for work, so I had to mute.
You're good.
Yeah, no, that I don't know. The entry is like, I'm not trying to like top tick or bottom tick, so that's why I was worried that I was being too aggressive, maybe, I guess is the way to say it.
I don't think you're being aggressive at all. Personally, I don't see aggressiveness. I don't see you being impulsive. Like, it's not like you got in like here and then took a lot of heat. Like, I don't see any impulsiveness. I don't see any hesitation. I don't see any chasing. I see that you nailed a fucking entry off some really good areas. That's what I see. Again, if we made a big move and now you're getting in up here, like, okay, let's have the conversation, because that's not a good entry at all. You chased it. But like, you got in at the perfect time. As you started to notice, there's a reason to get in off those overlapping demand zones, because I see the volume. I see the price action. I see the uptick. Like, you see a lot in the moment for you to feel confident to make that decision, and you get in at the best time and not chase it up at highs. I think that's a really good entry. I don't think you were being aggressive at all. I don't see it anyway.
Okay. Yeah, so I think that's the best trade that I've taken so far. The other two were winners, but they weren't necessarily. I wouldn't say they were better than this one.
That was definitely a good setup, 100%.
And I don't have as much information on the other two.
Okay. Yeah, I see that we don't have screenshots. Got a couple. So let's just take this trade from Thursday as like your first officially logged trade, because you did everything right. You logged it correctly. You got the screenshots in there, which is awesome. Thorough notes. Like, this is your first official log trade. Let's get 10 of these, dude. Just so we have like some baseline data. and build on that. One recommendation I do have, though, that I think we should start doing now, just so we have good consistency with this when we have a lot more trading data, is let's start adding tags to our trades as we're logging them, just so when we have 100 trades we want to look at, we can filter our trades based on tags, and it's going to help us tremendously.
Okay, I just didn't do that because I don't know what to put as a tag. I don't know what to tag them as.
Yeah, so
what, like
here,
other people tag them as, or like how you categorize them, or
yeah. So here's what I do is I can't do it on yours, but you can add a new category. So I think by default you have mistakes and custom tags. I'm going to add another category because I want to be able to tag two separate things, right? One category, I want to tag the type of setup, right? Just get clear on what was the setup, right? If I traded a break and retest, I want to tag it that it was a break and retest. If it was a reversal, I want to tag it as reversal. So I want to tag the setup in one category, right? And then in the other category, I want to create separate tags for all of these separate reasons I had to take the trade. So one of those tags could be 4-hour demand. Another tag is 1-hour demand. Another tag is 30-minute demand. So we see we have those 3 tags, but that tells me that you had 3 zones of demand. Was there a fib present? Was that a confluence? If so, type in fib. You were reading price action, volume and price action. So you would tag, volume, price action. So now when we look at all of these trades, we have 2 categories of tags. We have all of the setups. We can filter specifically based on setup, right? Just look at your demand trades. Just look at all your supply trades. We can look at break and retests off, resistance. We could filter based on setup. Then what we can do is we could also filter based on confluence type in the future as well. So I like to do that. So let's say that we're using the VWAP, for example, as one of our confluences. And there's some trades that we've taken where we've used the VWAP. But when we filter all the tags based on VWAP, if I see like those specific trades where we utilize VWAP as confluence, like we have a really bad hit rate, it gets us to think, why? Are we using the VWAP wrong? Right? Do we not need to use the VWAP at all? Right? It allows us to really get clear on what's working, what's not working when we tag things correctly. Because if we notice like your hit rate when you use the VWAP is 10%, let's be honest, you're probably going to stop using the VWAP until we dial it in. If we have a 10% hit rate, and that's where most of our losers come, or taking trades off the VWAP. We won't know that until we specifically look at the trades that you've incorporated the VWAP as an example. So being as clear as possible with the tagging is going to just help you tremendously when it comes down to reviewing hundreds of trades in the future.
Okay.
Versus having to go through them one by one to understand the reasoning, you'll be able to look at it just from a tag perspective.
I gotcha. Okay, I'll go through and I'll get those set up today.
Cool. Well, good stuff, man. I like the trade. I like the reasoning. Solid execution. Good target. In line with the trends. Dude, yeah, I want to see if we can replicate that kind of trade day in, day out. Good stuff, man.
Awesome. Okay.
Trust me, Paxton, if I saw anything there, we would definitely talk about it.
Okay, cool. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't sugarcoat anything. I don't beat around the bush. If I see something that we messed up on, just gonna tell you straight up. We messed up, and here's how we fix it. Cool. All right. Who else has got anything top of mind, goals, game plans for the week, milestones? How can I help support you, hold you accountable, make sure that we're just moving the needle? And so for you, real quick, as the next person opens the mic, again, Paxton, I would really just, focus on doubling down this week. Is just really coming in and getting good with my preparation process, going through, finding all my zones, really getting into a good routine of just doing thorough analysis before I consider taking trades. And we're very clear on the types of trades that we want to start to really just take in the beginning. Then I want you to take the trades, get in reps. I don't really want you to focus so much on the outcome of the trade, winner or loser. I just want you to focus on the process, building the plan, and executing the plan flawlessly. If it hits your stop, I want to see you're consistently managing your risk and getting out where you say you're going to get out. You're hitting targets. I want to see that we're consistently getting out at target. We're not holding on too long because we're greedy. I just want to see consistency with our execution based on these select trades that we're focused on. And biggest thing is getting the trades logged so we can get some of that baseline data. That's our main focus for this week. I think that's going to help us gain a lot of clarity for the weeks to come, and that's going to get us so much closer to doing this with the real cash. And then everything else we talked about last week, too, from a mindset standpoint. Obviously, putting that front and center, prioritizing that, obviously that's still top of the list.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The meditation has helped a lot.
They will. The more you do it, the more that you'll see the transformation from it. But it's awesome. Just over the last couple of days of doing that, you're already starting to notice a difference. That's very cool, man. All right. Next in line. Who's got something? Hey, it could even be a stock you think is setting up. We'll look at it. But I would like to, like I said, get clear on where you guys are at and how can I support you for the week. Make sure we're hitting some milestones, guys. Crushing some goals.
Hey, Josh.
What's up, buddy?
Ticker JD. They have earnings Thursday, and I see a nice gap play.
JD. Oh, the daily charts. So hard.
Yeah,
It trades a couple mil a day. It just looks like it trades like an OTC stock.
Yeah.
With all those it looks like an OTC stock on the daily. I don't like that at first glance, but let's go to a monthly. Let's start monthly and build from there. Doesn't hurt. I'm just going to do my two closest zones of supply and demand on a monthly. Obviously, that supply zone's been hit 2 times. That first hit was like 90%. So there's not a lot left over on the monthly supply. But you got some untouched daily down here. Untouched monthly. My bad. We'll go into a week. Again, just top down. I always follow the same process. I don't really see anything on the weekly supply side. Demando, drop, base. Yeah, there you got a couple basings in there. Now you got that drop base rally, so it's actually a little bit tighter. We see that little drop on down, little base, little rally. Go ahead and put your weekly in there. I even see a weekly gap, so maybe that's the same gap that you were talking about.
I was looking at it on a daily.
Daily. Well, let's see if it lines up, but we still have this little weekly gap right there. I'm going to mark it up.
It's above it.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's still mark that weekly up. Why are my lines in white? That's weird. I don't like white. All right. And now we can go finish her up on a day. At least we have more context. All right, daily time frame, and yeah, you got lots of daily gaps to the downside. I mean, that's the one thing with JD is like I see gaps every day. Honestly, I don't want to trade a gap. That's just me. Because we see gaps all the time. Like every day there's a gap. And there's just too many gaps to feel, right off the bat to be confident to trade the gaps because they're all over the place. But, let me go back and look at all of the gaps and see like how consistent the stock is with filling gaps and respecting gaps. Because you got a lot of data to go look at gaps to see like how consistent is it. And that's what I would start to do is look at, some significant gaps, just mark them up and see like, did we respect it? Gap fill rejection. Yeah, we respected that. It was a pretty big gap. Here's another recognizable gap. Oh, gap fill reject. Again, I'm just looking back to look at all of these big noticeable gaps to see like were they respected beautifully to the penny. We came to the top of the gap, we bounced. Came to the bottom of the gap, we bounced. So at least, a couple of the gaps that we've started the mark, at least we see some respection, right?
Yeah.
There's a gap, top of the gap, we bounce. There's another gap there. That's what I'm doing. And that's going to take time to go through and look at every single gap to just ask yourself, like, okay, there's a million gaps, but do we at least respect a good majority of them? 60, 70% of the gaps have been at least respected in the past from what I can see. If so, okay, cool. Let me look for a possible trade off a daily gap fill. But if I look at it and I'm like, yeah, maybe 20% of the gaps that I see have actually been like hit and respected, and it's a low probability hit rate, like I would just pass on trading a gap on JD. So that's what I would do, is just go through and, look at past chart history and just ask yourself how many of those gaps have been respected. And if you see a good amount, then at least that builds some confidence to take this gap trade. So you're in the gap. You're looking at that bigger one here, I would assume.
Yeah, and I took it from wick to wick, but
you went wick to wick. That's okay.
Yeah.
And you're looking for maybe like a gap fill, little bounce.
Yeah. I mean, I was also looking at the fib retracement too to see if it would line up. Because I was thinking from the August 5th, 2024 low to
October 7th.
Yeah, right there as the fib retracement, if that's correct.
Yeah. I mean, I would even take it off the actual higher low before the impulse.
Oh, okay.
So like swing low, swing high. So I would take it up a little bit under this swing low. And I'm on a weekly, but still, the fib is not going to give us a confluence. I mean, off the 786, but I don't use the 786. So I don't really see anything that's like, yay, the fib lines up. You got a weekly gap below the daily.
Don't really have much there.
What's up?
Don't really have much to really go off of, in my opinion.
No, I definitely don't see a reason to be in this before earnings. But like, I guess, waiting to see what it does post earnings and see if it's inside one of these gaps and actually setting up. But yeah, if I had more confluences and I had more like suggestions of like, dude, this is a great short. Look at the 5 confluences we have. We can justify a trade before earnings because there's not a lot. Yeah, I just don't see it.
No. I just know it was one of the stocks this week. And
with earnings, yeah. Yeah, I would have to say, number one, let's wait for earnings to drop and then look at this thing post earnings next day and see if it's sitting at any of these key technicals. If so, and you see an opportunity to take a trade, that can turn into a little bit of a swing. So we could still be looking for maybe some follow through, some short-term swing trade potential, depending on where this thing is at post earnings, and kind of go from there and see if we have an opportunity then versus I just don't see any odds on any trade before earnings Thursday morning. Yeah, Thursday morning. Yeah. But here's the thing: we still got 3 days. We got today, tomorrow, Wednesday. Like anything can happen, right? Like what if JD is sitting at $30 Wednesday afternoon, and you start to see a gap fill bounce setting up Wednesday afternoon? Like you could still look for a trade. And if it makes a nice little move Wednesday before the close and you're able to like sell some of that to get your initial back out and hold partial position through earnings with little to no risk, well, then that makes sense. But that would mean JD would need to at least be down around $30 come Wednesday to see that gap fill bounce maybe start to play out.
Yeah.
And see if there's a reason to get positioned strategically to where we can capitalize on a potential day trade and maybe have a small position to hold through earnings with little to no risk.
Yeah. I'm noticing too on the open interest for September 19th.
Okay.
There's high open interest on both the call side and the put side.
On what date?
On September 19th.
Next Friday?
September.
Oh, September. Okay. So a month from next Friday. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what are you looking at on the call and put side as far as open interest? Is there any that just really stands out amongst the others?
Well, the 35s are the highest, and then the 28. So it looks like there's a lot of straddles in place.
All right. So what are you said the 35s?
Yeah, the 35s.
What's the open interest on those?
15,381.
Okay. And then on the 28s?
17,643.
And nothing else on that chain that's like, bah, just standing out to you?
It slowly decreases as you get away from them. From like the 29s are sitting at 16,000. The 30s are at 10,000 on the put side.
Okay.
12,000 on 31s on the put side. So it's kind of looks like the stock is straddled.
Do you see any like, increase in volume on one side or the other? Or is it like pretty equal volume across calls and puts? Just curious.
Pretty equal. It's below 1,000. I will say that on the volume side on both sides.
Okay.
So it's well, the 28s have the highest volume, but no
Not by a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just kind of read this as a confluence as well is a little difficult.
I mean, you're already on the right track with, looking at your open interest on the expiration. So for me, it comes down to like, expiration. I'm going to pick and choose the best expiration based on length of hold. So, and that gives me an idea of at least what expirations I'm going to be looking at. Because if I think the trade's going to take 60 days to play out, like I want to be at least 90 days on expiration, right? Even if the 30-day open interest looks the best, I'm still not going to choose a 30-day because the open interest looks great if I think realistically it's going to take 2 months to play out, right? So I always look with how long do I think I'm going to be in the swing trade? And so I try and make the best decision possible. If my target's at 35 and I'm getting in at 30, I just ask myself, about how long did it take to fall from 35 to 30? If it's like, okay, it took a month to fall 5 points, well, why would it take any less than a month to get back up there? That's my starting point. It took a month to come down, right? Maybe take a month to go back up. I'm thinking 2 months out. I think that's plenty of time. I think within a 2-month window, it's very realistic that we make it up to my target of, say, 35 within 2 months. So I at least know I'm not going any lower than 60 days till expiration. Now I'm looking at the 60-day expiration, maybe a 67-day, an 80-day, and then I'm going to compare those open interest and then see if something on the open interest stands out to where maybe I want to go a 90-day versus a 60 because the open interest is crazy. But I always want to start with making sure I'm getting the right expiration based on my time horizon on a swing trade, and then looking at open interest volume from there. Let's do that on JD. You were going September 19, so that's 40, not even 45 days. That's going to be about 30 some days, 37, 38 days. Yeah. And so let's say you're thinking calls. Let's say it's coming down, it's at 30, it's setting up, right? And you're like, okay, cool. I got a $34 target, let's say. How long would you say it would take for that gap fill bounce to possibly play out and push back up to a 34 target without earnings or anything? Like just naturally, how long do you think that would take?
Say, looking at from the previous high to the previous low, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. Just if you had from a 30 to 34.
8 days. So let's round it up 10. So 10 days, that's 2 trading weeks. That's 2 full weeks of trading. So I'm going to 2x that minimum. So it's like if I think that it's going to take 2 weeks to get there, I'm going to say 4 weeks. I'm just going to 2x it. So 4 weeks. So I know at least I'm looking at 30 days to start, which is where you're at. You're about 38 days. So I'd be looking at like 38 days compared to 45 days and just kind of looking at those two, somewhere in that region, and compare, the ones you were just looking at for the 19th of September. Go your 45-day out or whatever your next weekly is, and then compare those two options chains together. The 38 days compared to maybe a little bit further out, and see if one really starts to get your attention now.
Yeah, the 26 is nothing there. The October 17th has a little bit more, but not as significant as the 19s.
You're not seeing like 30, 40, 50K open interest or anything like that?
No, it's all below. The highest I see is 7,800 on the call side.
So your open interest is really on those September 19s.
Yeah.
Is where you see that. Okay.
Looking on the call side or the put side?
Both.
Both. Looking on both.
Because I was going to October. I looked
October.
at 32 calls because you're looking for the stock price to come down before you're entering. Spreads are reasonable. They're $1.84.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at compared to the September 19s, you're not paying that much more from $1.38 to $1.84, but you're giving yourself a lot more time. That's just on the call side. I haven't even looked at, and the delta's a 45. I like the delta because your delta is going to come down a little bit as the stock comes down before you enter the trade. If you're going on the call side, I haven't looked at puts, but that's just what I was seeing.
And I like what Tom does too, is he looks at like, hey, how much more could I pay to buy myself more time? It's like, I'm going to pay an extra $40 a contract to buy myself another 30 days. It's a no-brainer.
Okay. Yeah, I see the. I mean, still good open interest on the 17. So compared to.
And then how much more time are you buying for the extra $40? If it's like I'm buying a week for an extra $40 and that's, 50% of the print, maybe that doesn't make sense. But if I'm buying an extra 30 days for $40, like, okay, why would I not pay an extra $40 a contract to buy an extra 30 days of time? That makes sense.
39 to 67 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because those extra days, you're not worried about the extra 30. You get your move, let's say within 2 weeks of you entering that trade, you get the move that you're looking for. Those later contracts are going to move.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about, the time decay leading up to the move. It's going to be less theta.
Yep.
Less time decay. And you're not paying that much more to buy yourself time. And who knows, maybe you do need a little bit more time. You got it. If the thing makes the move, like Tom said, in a week or two, and you still have that much time till expiration, those contracts are going to go.
Okay. Yeah. I see the big difference. Okay.
Yeah, because even looking at the options, let's say everything else lines up. Also keep in mind the delta. That makes a big difference too in terms of where you want to enter and what type of expiration, strike price, things like that.
Yeah. So typically I follow suit, try to be within 30, 40 delta of option price. So pretty much right in the money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then just go from there and trying to pick the right expiration date. So
those are some tips and tricks, man. I think it should always start with, I got a swing trade in front of me. How long do I think realistically it's going to take to see it get to my target? 30 days. Okay, well, if I take a 30-day option, it takes exactly 30 days to get there. I'm not making shit. My options aren't going to. So it's like I'm going to 2x that minimum. So it's like I'm going to go minimum 60 days out and start there. Not to say it's 100% a 60-day till expiration. Maybe I want to go 90 days. Why? Well, maybe I start to see a difference in open interest and volume and the cost of the premium where it makes sense to go 90 versus 60, but at least I know my starting point is 60 days. And I know that's plenty of time. Plenty of time.
Yeah, because with the options, you have to make sure you buy yourself plenty of time.
Yeah, 100%. And I've been in way too many trades where I didn't buy myself enough time, and then I'm cutting the trade at a loss. Maybe it expires worthless, and the next week it pops.
Yep.
And I'm like, dude, if I would have just bought a little bit more time. And then I think about it. I'm like, if I would have just bought a little bit more time, I would have paid an extra $20 a contract. Like, wow, big investment. An extra $20 a contract. I would have had an extra 2 weeks, and I would have made X amount versus letting them expire worthless. So it's like, I'm always willing to just buy time. Time is money. Yes, Paxton. Yes. He's got your hand up. What's up, buddy? He's drawing.
Go ahead.
Time is money.
I didn't want to interrupt that, but what's the significance of noticing the straddle on the options? Because that didn't even click in my head as something you could look for.
I think Tom could better explain it, but in my opinion, if you see the equal amount of open interest, like some people I notice like to go a couple dollars away from the actual stock price on both sides. So that way, if the price moves to that significant amount, you can go ahead and cut your loss and then let the other one ride. That's just my thought process on it. I could be wrong, but maybe clarify that for me as well. Did I lose you?
No, I'm here. I'm just, it's just a matter of, basically when you're doing a straddle, it's whether you're looking for the price to either go up or down. So that's where you're gonna, make money. I don't necessarily look at the straddles so much because you'll get some. Your institutions will play on the straddle side. They're playing both sides because they may not be looking for big moves in it, but they can make money in bouncing around in between that straddle position where you're looking to play one side or the other. I would look more at the open interest on the actual call side and then also on the put side to see where the institutions are playing around. And that's where the volume comes in. Because if you get low volume, that's retail. Then you also have to look at the price of the stock. Now, JD's at it, let's call it just a $30 stock. Okay, it's a little better than a $10 stock, but you still can get more, some retailers playing in that as well as institutions. But more you get up, if you get towards the 5, 9, 10, 15,000 open interest, now you're looking at more institutions that are playing in that space. In terms of the straddles, I've never really looked at that as a confluence in order to enter a particular strategy because I have my different confluences that I'm looking at in the overall stock price. Are we playing in supply or demand? Is there a 200 moving day? So all your different confluences, if those different ones line up and I want to enter the trade, I'm going to enter the trade for a swing trade. And then if it doesn't start playing out the way I anticipate, then I can cut my losses really quick, over the next couple of days if necessary.
Okay.
But you can still look at straddles. It's not to say that you can't. I just don't use that as a tool for a reason to enter or not enter a trade. Now, I will go back to an example Josh and I were looking at probably 9 months ago or so was JP Morgan. And all of our confluences were lined up. I think we had about 3 or 4 or 5 confluences to enter this call trade. Then we went out to the option chain and we couldn't find anything within probably $10, $15, $20 of the stock price to enter calls. There was just no open interest. So we bailed on the trade because if institutions aren't playing around at that particular area, then why are we going to?
That's right. Yeah.
So I use option chain to read the tea leaves in terms of who's playing in that sandbox and at what level.
Interesting. Okay.
So I will
That's
go
fascinating.
out. So I'll just use the call side as an example. I'll go out multiple dates. I'll go out different strikes and see, okay, where's the open interest? I'm not as concerned about the volume at that point. So it's almost like when you're doing your technical analysis on a stock, you'll go out to a longer time frame and then you really narrow down in terms of the, getting down to a 30-minute chart. I'll do the same thing on the option chain. I'll go out and then start narrowing it down. Where are the trades taking place? Well, if they're not out there, 10 points out of the money, there's very little open interest. But I starting to tighten up. I'm like, here's where there's a lot of open interest. There's, 30,000 contracts. I'm like, that's where I want to play if I'm going to enter this trade. And then I start building my plan based on that because we're going to wait for the stock price to get to our particular level before we decide to enter the trade. But this way I have my entire plan in place so that when it gets there, I'm ready to execute. So again, looking at the different, and the other thing I want to be able to do potentially, if it all lines up, is get as